Hey, what's up, guys? Jamie G back here again for another video. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. If you are new to my channel, like I say, my name is Jamie G. I cover internet marketing, affiliate marketing, how to get started online, and basically all things digital. So if that's of interest to yourself, feel free to hit the subscribe button below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay up to date with everything I'm going to be putting out. Now, what I'm covering today is ads and how to dissect the data that you do get from your ads to basically hone in on your targeting and get some better results out of them. So a lot of the time when people start advertising on Facebook, they might run a campaign, 5, 10, 15, 20, $100 a day, whatever the case may be, and they're not getting immediate results, and the click-through rates are really crap, but they do get some data along the way. So what we're going to go through today is just how you can basically delve into that data a little bit further and see who in your audience that you're targeting is actually taking up either clicking or at least taking some sort of interest in the product that you're trying to promote. So again, it doesn't matter if this is a service or an offer, a product, e-commerce, whatever the case may be. This is something that you can do for basically anything you are advertising online via Facebook, of course. So I probably haven't chosen the best example, to be perfectly honest, because this campaign that I was running actually had some phenomenal results. As you can see, 9.32% click-through rate all there. So that means, and just to let you know the difference between these two ones here, CTR all click-through rate versus CTR link click-through. Basically, click-through rate all can be something like someone clicking play on a video they're liking. Maybe they are clicking there's like, say if you put a lot of copy in an ad, it'll have a little button that says see more. Maybe they're just clicking that. That all counts as a click. So link click-through rate, that means that they've actually clicked on the call to action button, like learn more, download, sign up, contact us, all that sort of stuff there. So or if you've actually got it like a bit.ly link or something like that in the actual ad text, maybe they've clicked on that as well. It does record those. So point being, that's why you might see a bit of a difference between those. But like I say, it's probably not the best example with this particular campaign, because I'd already done a lot of information, a lot of homework in terms of my targeting before I even launched these campaigns. So I wanted to make sure that I had the best opportunity. But quite often we don't have the time, especially if it's like a local business or you've got a somewhat of a finite audience to work with. What I'll tend to do, and obviously it's a bit of a tricky conversation to have you with your client, because you kind of need to explain, okay, well, we need some data first. And a lot of the time they're like, well, I already know that my customers are, mums and dads aged between 30 and 35. And that might be the case because they've actually advertised to those people before, but it doesn't necessarily mean when you jump into the online world that that's going to be your target demographic. So a lot of the time it's about building data in order for you to then hone into that data, dissect it, and work out where the best opportunities are going to lie within your ad sets and ads. So anyway, what I would start with is basically looking at the current data. And again, I apologize. I mean, these are really, really good ads. So there's probably not much I can do, as I've already, like I say, done my homework. But if we assume that these numbers are not quite as good as they are, maybe they're like 0.5%, but you still have, I guess, because you've been spending a bit of money, you still have quite a few clicks and a few actions, a few purchases along the way. What you can do is come back over here to break it down. And what we want to do is actually break it down by delivery, first of all. Have a look at that. And basically you can delve into age and gender. I'm not going to be, oh, actually, no, sorry, I am targeting multiple countries, so I can go to country as well. So with this one, I'm just going to go age and gender. You might as well have a look at both of those at the same time. Now, you wouldn't believe it, but I actually recorded this exact same video maybe 5 days ago, and just unfortunately the recording software I was using just did not like what I was doing for some reason. So after spending about 20 odd minutes producing this beautiful video, it decided not to save, unfortunately. So this is a bit of a repeat, but I really wanted to get this out there because it's something that I am doing at the moment anyway. Alrighty, so here we go. Retarget. Okay, so this one, to give you an idea, this one hasn't produced many results. Usually a retargeting campaign, you're basically targeting people that have taken an action. So they've either clicked on or watched part of a video, they've clicked on a website, they've been pixeled by hitting a website, What else can you do? People that have opened a lead form and they haven't gone through and actually finalize that lead, or click submit on that lead form, you can retarget them. There's a whole bunch of options there, but normally speaking, because people have already seen your brand and whatnot, when you go to retarget them, the click-through rates, as a general rule, should be a lot better than the other ones. Now, as you notice, those other ad sets that I had there were, was it like 12%, and what was the other one? I think like 9% click-through rate. So they're pretty good. So there's probably a reason for it, unless I missed something. Yeah, retarget, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. So that was just that ad set. So let's have a look at those other ones just to give a bit of an idea. Yeah, okay. So 9%. All right. So here's what we're doing. Right. Start at the top. I'm not sure if maybe I didn't run this very long or something. I don't know. Anyway, so what we're wanting to have a look at is who is actually basically taking those actions that we want that are going to end up producing the results. So, I mean, this is a bad example because again, we've only got 5 clicks. Not really a huge data set to work out where you can hone in on your targeting. So I'm actually going to scroll right down to one of the other better performing ad sets. But actually, even in this, you still start to get a few clues. So as you can see there, females aged between 55 and 64. Now this is an arthritis related product, so obviously that's, my demographic is going to be a little bit older, but the product in question, the reason why I left it kind of broad was purely because it is something that does work really well for sports injuries as well. So I wanted to kind of test, all right, we've got young people that are sporty, like are they going to get into it? Is it going to be something that the older demographic are going to get into due to the probability of arthritis, things like that. So in this case, it looks like, I mean, and again, you don't want to take this as gospel because only 5 clicks on this ad set. It's not really the best example, but you kind of get the idea. So that's where 3 clicks have come from. Slightly better than the overall link click-through rate. Again, slightly better than the other results of $1.20 per. I'm okay with that. Males, for some reason, they're not really interested. I don't know why. And uncategorized. And this is where the real meat and bones should be, the 65 plus demographic, both male and female. Obviously, it's a female skew in this case, quite dramatically. But the funny thing is, or not funny, but the ironic thing is that it's actually the males that have an exceedingly better click-through rate. And again, we're only playing with 5 clicks, so it doesn't really mean anything for this particular ad set. But you kind of get the idea. It's about going through this data and going, okay, cool. I didn't actually know that males aged 30 to 35 were going to be interested in this product. So maybe you want to then break out that age range from 30 to 35 and then split into male and female and see how that goes as well. Or you can just go, okay, cool. Well, now I know that the big skew of data is telling me that, in this case, say females aged 65 plus are actually showing interest in it. It seems to be more of them, more impressions out there as well. So maybe it's a matter of then breaking that out into a separate ad set as well, targeting. But anyway, I'm going to go through these ones because they have a lot more clicks on them. Now, the impressions, I mean, that's not huge either. There's only 470 odd impressions, but the fact that we're getting 12% click-through rate or nearly 13% click-through rate on this ad set's really pretty happy with that. But looks like I've actually gone and done my homework, and I've created audiences that are older than 45 by the looks of that. And so then you can see, again, the younger demographic, still that's an excellent figure. I'm happy with that. But again, compared to some of these ones, male 40-54, 14%, like that's phenomenal. And what do we got there? That's uncategorized. Okay, so we don't actually know, but we do know the age range. So therefore, we might want to break those out into age ranges, just 45 to 54. That's one bracket, or maybe even 45 to 50. You can kind of test it. I've even heard of people that are going as small as 2-year gaps or 1-year gaps, like 40 to 41, 41 to 40, etc. Now, it's a lot more work, but that's when you're going to get some of that bigger data come through, which is really cool. Again, okay, clicks, but then the strange thing is huge click-through rate on the front end, but no one's actually bothering to click the link. So maybe they're curious about the ad, but then they're not actually taking that action. That is for the males, age 55 to 64, uncategorized, 21%. Oh my God, that's amazing. 1/5 of the audience wants to click that, and that's female. So there you go. That's the answer. Basically, I'm already seeing a pattern emerge here. So now, if I was doing this for real, what I'd do is then start jotting down some notes. and I'd be like, okay, cool, I've noticed a trend. Sometimes you won't even see a trend. That's why you got to delve into each category. So in this case, I'm like, okay, well, women aged, what's that, 65 plus, bang on, 32 clicks for total of nearly 1/5 of the audience is taking an action on that, which is amazing. And even that one, 5.37% click-through rate on the link as well. I'm super happy about that as well. It's amazing. Whereas the dudes, what are they doing? Like by comparison, that's actually an amazing click-through rate as well. 7, I'd be very happy with that with most ad sets. But the fact that no one, again, they're probably curious about the ad, but they're not actually taking that action. But you don't have a big data pool here. There's no sort of big size. I mean, 38 people that the ad has been shown to. Yeah, it's not really a big enough sample size to conclude one way or another. Now this one is a little bit better. We've got 780 clicks, so now we can get some proper data coming in. Actually, have a look at what's going on. Okay, uncategorized. People that don't want to be known as either. Here we go. 245 clicks. Okay, and that is females age 55 to 64. So maybe, and that's the other thing you kind of work out. Say in this example is arthritis products, so it might be maybe they're looking at something to help their husbands out. Maybe they're getting arthritis themselves. Maybe it's something that they are thinking about for older people in their family. There's all sorts of reasons. But then again, we're now starting to learn what that data looks like. All right, 245. There's a lot of clicks. I like that. And those stats are really good. Okay, 13%. Yep, happy with that. And what are we looking at there again? Okay, so we're starting to see a bit of a trend. There's women over 65 years old, love this product. They are clicking like crazy. That's awesome. And then it is relating back onto the actual front end, actually clicking through to the website, which is even more important. So that's fantastic. We're now starting to get some data, and guys are catching up a little bit. That's a bit of a better sample size impressions. It's a number of times the ad's been shown to that particular segment of the demographic. And what do we got there? Male 65 plus, 13 clicks, $1.12 each, a little bit more expensive, slightly under 3% click-through rate on the link, but 10% on the actual ad itself. So the ad is resonating. Maybe it's not resonating enough to get people to take that action. So, but that's an amazingly important data. So that's awesome. We now have a trend in place. So we got, okay, cool. This is something I can work off. What else can we do? Now, I've also, with this particular one, it might not be applicable to yourself. I have chosen to break it down into countries. So I've got UK, United States, Australia, and New Zealand as part of this particular ad set. So now I need to work out, okay, is it worth, like I went quite broad in my targeting. Is it worth perhaps honing that in? Is there one country that's taking action where others aren't? That sort of thing. So then I'd look at country and I'd go, okay, well, where are these clicks coming from? As I have a bit of a gander real quick, and sorry, I'm conscious of the time, so I'm not going to hold you up forever. All right, not even going to look at the retargeting one. What do we got down here? Okay, so we've got Australia, 10%. United Kingdom, there we go, nearly 15%, 14.5% is amazing, absolutely amazing. United States, so again, we're basically, the targeting's on point, basically. Actually, sorry, I got that wrong. And no one from New Zealand. No one gives a crap from New Zealand, huh? Come on, guys. I'm Kiwi, so, I'm biased. Radio. United Kingdom. Okay, so then again, what we probably want to do is start breaking this ad set out into United Kingdom, and then United States not really that far behind. It means that the targeting's on point. So now if we start crossing that over with, say, females age 65 plus, and say segregating that into United Kingdom, United States, New Zealand. Well, bugger you, New Zealand. You're not really clicking on it at all, are you? So Australia, they're all actually, even Australia and New Zealand, by comparison, are a lot less in terms of the click-through rates. But yeah, I'm not overly concerned about that. It's still something that would be worth splitting into a separate ad set. So now we're starting to get a bit of an idea of the data, right? So what else can we do? Now, this one, it's almost my go-to as well. We can go impression, platform and device, and placement and device. So I'd probably go platform and device first. Okay. Now, bear in mind that what I'm looking at here, this is all small data. Like this is just one ad set. I mean, some of the ad accounts have obviously a lot more spend. This is really, really tiny spend in the grand scheme of things, but the audience is on point. And that's the main thing. So what do I have a look at? Platform and device. Okay, so this is the best performing one. So now we have a look at things and we go, okay, well, Android smartphone, Android tablet. There's obviously going to be a lot more people that are using a smartphone as opposed to a tablet. So we can come through here. What do we got? iPhone, that's a massive one. Look at that, 16%. Love that. So now we're starting to get an idea of this data. That's it. How easy is that? So now we've got basically 3 bits of really important information that shows us. It looks like it's women over 65 years old that are engaging with these ads a lot more. It also looks like that the skew is towards mobile users, which is fantastic. In fact, it doesn't even look like desktop. Okay, yeah, still 4.5. I'm kind of happy with that anyway. But here's the other interesting thing to think of though. If someone is looking on their phone, are they as likely to take an action as someone who's actually sitting down at a desk? They've got the desktop or the laptop or whatever in front of them, and they're looking through things. So even though the stats might be a little bit less, again, you want to test that because you don't necessarily know at this stage, unless you've got a lot of buyer information, you don't necessarily know at this stage whether the ads are performing or not. So, but you now have a bit of an idea. So as I say, the 3 bits of information: women over 65, mobile users, and it looks like the UK is kicking butt in terms of who's actually engaging with the ads at all. So with that, you can also have a bit of a play around with it. You can't really go wrong. Have a look at some of these other things like impression device placement as well. So that's really important. So you might work out that even though you've been advertising on Instagram and Facebook, you might decide that Instagram sucks, but for the older demographic, they're not interested. Whereas Facebook is the way to go. I personally never bother with the right-hand side ads, so I always just go for the news feed and whatnot, but it might turn out that messenger placement's actually the way to go. What else we got? Yeah, so I mean, there's all these things, and then you can work out the other really good thing to consider as well is the actual time of day for the viewer's time zone. Now, this is one that, like to give you a little example, I was working with an app developer a while back, and their target demographic was personal trainers. So what we found out is that personal trainers, they often will wake up super early and they'll have clients from, say, I don't know, 6 a.m. through to, I don't know, 8:30, 9 a.m. And then they have a bit of a break, and then it's, the lunchtime sessions start for them, and then they have a bit of a break and then whatnot. So we found that instead of us trying to show ads all the time, we worked out, okay, cool, they're tied up between these times. We found out that if we show the ads between, I know it sounds crazy, but like I think it was like 9:15, and I think the other time was like 10 or 11 o'clock or something like that. In between those times, then ignored it from like 11 till I think 3, and then showed again from 3 till 5, and then again skip that, and then I think the other one that we did was like 9 p.m. Through to midnight. Now, because of that, we ended up getting some fantastic results, but it was only purely because I broke down the data. I went, well, hang on, there's a bit of a trend forming here. Like we can see, well, like, what do PTs do? Okay, great. We think they do this, but we didn't really know until we started getting that data come through. Once we did, we broke it into separate ad sets targeting different time frames, and as a result, we're able to get some great leads for that particular client. So anyway, I've been rambling along a lot longer than I anticipated, as per usual. I must apologize. That's all I wanted to go through today. I hope you guys have learned something. Please let me know if there's anything I can help with in the comments below. Once again, my name is Jamie G. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Bye-bye.